In 1989, the G7 established the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, to coordinate the global fight against money laundering. It started with 15 countries and the EU. Today, nearly 40 countries are full members, and over 200 jurisdictions have committed to its standards. Here is what the exam tests first. FATF does not create legally binding law. It issues recommendations. Member countries then translate those recommendations into their own national legislation. FATF sets the standard. Governments write the law. Institutions receive it as regulation. That chain, from recommendation to law to institution, is the foundation of the entire international AML framework. Within a year of its founding, FATF issued its original 40 recommendations, a comprehensive action plan for fighting money laundering worldwide. After September 11, FATF added 8 special recommendations on terrorist financing. A 9th followed shortly after. The 40 recommendations are grouped into 7 broad categories: AML and CFT policies and coordination, money laundering and confiscation, terrorist financing and proliferation, preventive measures, transparency and beneficial ownership, powers of competent authorities, and international cooperation. For the exam, you do not need to memorize individual numbers. You need to understand the 3 broad bands, and what each band requires. Recommendations 1 to 8 establish the foundation. Recommendations 1 and 2 require jurisdictions to assess and understand their ML and TF risks, and to take a risk-based approach to mitigation. Response must be proportionate to risk. Recommendations 3 to 8 address the criminalization of money laundering and terrorist financing, confiscation of criminal proceeds, and targeted financial sanctions. The key principle here: a risk-based approach means higher risk receives more scrutiny, lower risk receives proportionate controls. Not one size for everyone. Jurisdictions must designate an authority responsible for implementation and establish national AML policies informed by their own risk assessments. Recommendations 9 to 23 govern preventive measures, the obligations that fall directly on financial institutions and DNFBPs. This band covers customer due diligence, record keeping, politically exposed persons, correspondent banking, wire transfers, and the reporting of suspicious transactions. These are the recommendations that compliance professionals work with every day. They define who must be identified, what must be recorded, and when a suspicious transaction report must be filed. Recommendation 20 is particularly exam relevant. It requires jurisdictions to mandate that financial institutions file suspicious transaction reports when they suspect that funds are the proceeds of a predicate offense. The obligation is to report suspicion, not to confirm a crime. Recommendations 24 to 40 address transparency, supervision, and international cooperation. Recommendations 24 and 25 require jurisdictions to ensure competent authorities can access accurate, up-to-date beneficial ownership information on legal persons and trusts. Recommendations 26 to 35 govern supervision. Financial institutions and DNFBPs must be properly regulated, and supervisors must have sufficient authority, resources, and independence. Recommendations 36 to 40 cover international cooperation, mutual legal assistance, extradition, asset freezing at foreign request, and cross-border information sharing. The underlying principle across this entire band: transparency enables cooperation, and cooperation enables enforcement. Without transparency, the international system breaks down. FATF assesses member jurisdictions through mutual evaluations, formal reviews conducted by AML authorities from other countries. The resulting mutual evaluation report measures 2 distinct things. First, technical compliance. Is the law on the books? Ratings: compliant, largely compliant, partially compliant, or non-compliant. Second, effectiveness. Is the system actually working? FATF measures this through 11 immediate outcomes, each rated high, substantial, moderate, or low. A jurisdiction can be technically compliant but have low effectiveness, meaning the laws exist but are not enforced. The exam distinguishes these 2 dimensions. Technical compliance without effectiveness is not a passing grade. When a jurisdiction performs poorly in a mutual evaluation, FATF has 2 public instruments. The gray list, formally, jurisdictions under increased monitoring, identifies countries with strategic deficiencies that are actively working to address them. The blacklist, high-risk jurisdictions subject to a call for action, identifies countries with significant deficiencies requiring all FATF members to apply enhanced due diligence and potentially impose countermeasures. The consequences are severe. Gray or blacklist designation leads to increased scrutiny from international banks, reputational damage, higher transaction costs, and reduced foreign investment. The UAE was placed on the gray list in 2022 and removed in 2024, after strengthening beneficial ownership rules, creating a dedicated financial crime court, and increasing the frequency and size of sanctions. FATF-style regional bodies, FSRBs, are autonomous organizations that implement FATF standards at the regional level. They are FATF associate members, but they are not subordinate to FATF. They operate through mutual recognition. Moneyval covers Europe. The MENA FSRB tailors standards for Islamic finance and Hawala systems. Each FSRB conducts its own mutual evaluations, publishes regional typology reports, and provides technical assistance to members. The exam trap: FSRBs assist with implementation, they do not enforce, and they do not override national law. FATF remains the only standard-setting body. For every international AML question, identify who sets the standard, who writes the law, and who supervises compliance. Those are three different actors.